Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you all for coming this morning. If we could get everyone just kind of gathering a little bit more. Everyone hear me okay? We are very excited to have you all here today to join us. I would like to start off by introducing our first speaker, Deputy County Manager, Mr. Brandon Hinton.
We'll raise the microphones a little bit. I'm got a little bit of height on some others. Hey, but good morning, everyone. This is an incredible crowd to come out. It's exactly what we were hoping for this morning. Again, I'm Brandon Hinton, the Deputy County Manager for Administration. I am honored. Honored is not even the right word for this. I'm so thankful to have the opportunity to provide introductory comments this morning on this release of the proposed fiscal year 23-24 budget. So it goes without saying that we talked about a month ago, we're having a press event to announce this. And I think it goes without saying that this is less a press event and more of an employee celebration, which is exactly what we wanted, and one, of course, in which we are grateful for our media folks to join us. So thank you all. Again, this is entirely intentional, as you're going to hear me say several times, and you're going to hear the county manager say as well. The focus of this proposed budget is you. It is you, the employees, our amazing employees. But before delving into specifics, I want to begin my comments this morning by expressing my personal gratitude to our county manager, John Vithoulkas, and of course the superintendent of schools, Dr. Amy Cashwell, for their leadership and vision in putting this plan together. From day one, and I've been involved, we meet weekly on the budget, getting ready for this document, and we'll acknowledge the budget staff in a moment, all the work they did, but from day one, in working on this budget, the county manager was very, very, very clear that the priority is you, the employee. To the members of the Board of Supervisors who are here, we have 3 members with us, and we'll introduce everyone in a moment. But for the members of the board, it's your steadfast leadership and your fiscal prudence, quite frankly, that provided the path for today and making this happen. Because as you know, and many of you know, each budget builds upon previous approved budgets. They build on each other. So again, that pathway has been set by this Board of Supervisors for many, many years. Thank you for your leadership. And we have 3 members of our board with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, Chairman of the Board of Supervisors, Mr. Frank Thornton of the Fairfield District is with us, as is the Vice Chair of the board, Mr. Tyrone Nelson of the Verona District. Also with us, Mr. Dan Schmidt of the Brooklyn District. Thank you again for being here. Mr. Tommy Brandon and Ms. Patricia O'Bannon are both attending virtually and are being a part of this remotely. And you know what? I want you to take a moment and consider that we talk about Mr. Thornton and we talk about Mrs. O'Bannon. They're about to go through the 28th budget cycle in their career on the board. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's worthy of applause. We also have 2 members of our school board. We're really grateful for you all being here. We have the chair of the school board, Ms. Christy Kinsella of the Brooklyn District, and Dr. Roscoe Cooper from the Fairfield District with us today. And I want to take a moment. Where's Justin Crawford? Where's our budget director? Right here. Justin Crawford. Dan Hayes. Dan Hayes is your budget supervisor. Thank you. And great job as always to the budget team, the amazing budget team. Thank you for taking this man's vision, the county manager's vision, and making it a reality. That's a tough job, and he gave you a lot of hurdles to overcome, and as always, you did. So congratulations to all of you. And I would be remiss if I didn't recognize the department heads in Henrico, the best department heads in the Commonwealth. Where are the department heads? I know a lot of you are here today. You raise your hand. And thank you all for consistently, thank you, sir, for consistently bringing forward creative solutions and ideas. Your leadership helps also make this budget possible, but absolutely none of this is possible without our tremendous workforce, without all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, every year Henrico is able to make substantial investments in education and public safety, maintain and build new infrastructure in Henrico, and lead our peers, and hear me, lead our peers year after year in pay increases, all while maintaining the lowest tax burden on our residents and our businesses because of the work that you do. We intentionally have the leanest workforce for the outstanding services that Henrico County provides. What that means, we ask you to do more and to go above and beyond. And ladies and gentlemen, every single day you all amaze. So thank you. And for that effort, Henrico also strives to have the highest paid workforce. And county manager notes this often, that we want to be the leanest but the highest paid workforce in the Commonwealth. We want to make sure we have the best benefits for employees and their families at the lowest possible cost, including health care, of course, also including benefits such as the recently announced Home Purchase Assistance Program for employees that's funded at $2 million in the proposed budget that we're talking about today. Because of you, ladies and gentlemen, the county manager in his proposed budget that we're talking about this morning is afforded the unique opportunity to provide all general government and schools employees with the single largest across-the-board pay increase since 1991 in 33 years. That figure, ladies and gentlemen, is at 8.2%. And I don't have to remind you who have been here for a few years. This is in addition to the pay raises that you've received over the past 2 years. Consider, if you will, that for general government staff that have been employed with the county since April 2021, I know a lot of you recall we had a series of raises back in April 21, July, October. And if those employees who've been here that long and continue to work to July of 2023 when this raise is effective, the average salary increase, and I really want you to hear me when I say this, the average salary increase on July 2023 will have increased by 29.1% in just 26 months. So a remarkable achievement. The $60 million allocation within this proposed budget for salary increases alone applies to all grades, all steps in the county's pay plan. So as such, Henrico will continue to lead in every entry-level teacher, police officer, firefighter, mechanics, equipment operators. We will lead in entry-level pay in all of those so we can continue to hire the best of the best. And with these raises, I'm also proud to announce that Henrico's minimum wage across both general government and schools employees has reached $15 an hour, a milestone that this county manager this board of supervisors, this superintendent, and this school board has been seeking for a number of years. July 1st, we are there. And so while the clear focus is our people, I hope that comes across. I'm trying to make it come across because it genuinely is. This budget also continues to recognize the economic pressures on our residents and our businesses, especially those coming about from increased real estate and personal property values, and once again provides substantial tax relief to our residents and businesses. You heard several weeks ago about the county's plan to give back 2 cents or have a credit for 2 cents on the real estate tax. That's on the way. The proposed budget continues to make significant investments in a number of areas. You're going to hear Dan Hayes talk about further tax relief that is coming. The proposed budget continues to make significant allocations to our school system and public safety. In fact, over 78 cents of every new dollar in the general fund is being allocated to schools and public safety. This is not uncommon. This is a recurring theme. This is the priorities of the Board of Supervisors, and this is why this is so every year. You're going to hear from Holly Coy in a moment to talk about some of the highlights that are within the school system's budget. Within public safety, 10 new police officers are being added as part of a multi-year effort to add 50 new police officers on the street. And this budget also recognizes for the first time 10 new positions added this fiscal year for school resource officers to address school safety. So the recognition of that in this budget is also there. Second phase of positions associated with the future opening of Firehouse 23 is included, while also recognizing new efforts in the fight against substance abuse, funded with allocations from opioid settlement funds and the Opioid Abatement Authority. It also includes funding for a new Police South station in Highland Springs. And speaking of infrastructure, the fiscal year 24 budget includes $317 million in infrastructure spending, including the first allocation of bond referendum funds that were overwhelmingly supported last November. You'll also hear from Mr. Terrell Hughes in a moment about significant funding included for road and pedestrian improvements, and then from Bentley Chan, more than $100 million in water and sewer improvements. The proposed capital budget also continues to expand the county's environmental stewardship, which you'll hear more about as well. It addresses ongoing maintenance of existing county facilities and parks and IT infrastructure. We have to take care of what we have. This county does a really good job of that. I hope you all know that. As always, you'll see investments in economic development and sports tourism. But again, what I want you to know, this is all part of the county manager's proposed budget. That document gets officially released to the Board of Supervisors on March the 14th. And then the board, of course, goes through an annual exercise. We call it legislative budget reviews, where the Board of Supervisors will go through every single function area. Mr. Thornton's smiling because he's been through 28 of these. The board would go through department by department, function by function, line by line, and get to know the budget intimately, and then opens up for 2 public hearings on the budget. One on April the 11th on the budget itself, and then one on April the 25th for tax rates. So with that as some introductory comments, I'd like to now turn it over to Dan Hayes, your budget supervisor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hinton. Good morning. Following behind an announcement like that is no easy task, but I'm happy to provide details about another key aspect about the 2024 budget. All this important work that employees do in service to the county are supported by taxes paid by residents. So every single budget starts with an appreciation of the impact that the necessary tax burden places on individuals and families of our county as they face challenging economic circumstances. 2 weeks ago, when the county manager, the Board of Supervisors, and the Director of Finance announced the next installment of the real estate tax relief through a second rebate, the three-chop supervisor, Tommy Brannon, he challenged staff to explore additional tax relief for our residents. We took that challenge to heart. Last year, vehicle values increased, something that typically does not happen, so the values increased. In recognition, the board approved a rebate of 52 cents per $100 of value for vehicles. While vehicle values have decreased on average about 10% since that peak, they're still well ahead of where they were 2 or 3 years ago. With that as a backdrop, I'm pleased to announce a proposed permanent reduction in the local tax burden, this time for personal property taxes on qualifying vehicles. The proposed rate in fiscal year 24 budget will decrease from $3.50 to $3.40 per $100 of assessed value. And this reduction will impact over 350,000 vehicle accounts and will save residents and businesses an estimated $3.6 million each year. Now, it's important to note that this change will only impact those vehicles currently valued at $3.50. If the vehicle is taxed at a lesser rate, or it's not valued by a standard pricing guide, the current rate will stand. But it will impact the bulk of our vehicles. If adopted, the reduction of the vehicle personal property tax rate will be just the latest in a long list of tax reductions that provide relief and spur economic growth. In the past 45 years, the real estate tax rate has not increased. And in Ms. O'Bannon and Mr. Thornton's 28-year tenure, the real estate tax rate has been reduced 6 times. More recent tax reductions have been made in several areas, including machinery and tool tax rate that was cut 70%. The aircraft rate was cut 67%. The data center equipment rate was reduced 86%. And the research and development lab equipment rate was reduced 74%. In addition to that, we've increased the gross receipts exception for business license tax on all businesses from the $100,000 threshold all the way up to $500,000. In addition to cutting the vehicle personal property rate, the maximum relief provided through the Real Estate Tax Advantage Program for elderly and disabled residents, more commonly referred to as REAP, will increase from $3,000 to $3,200 to keep this vital relief program aligned with the average home value in the county. This increase is supported by additional $500,000 being budgeted into that program, with an estimated total of $11.5 million dedicated for that in fiscal year 24. So we're making an impact. The cumulative effect of these recent reductions, combined with the real estate and personal property rebates over 2 years alone, is more than $76 million. That's $26 million in the proposed tax relief in 2023, on top of over $50 million that was provided already in fiscal year 2022. And many of those are permanent reductions. Next, we'll hear from Holly Coy, Chief of Staff for the Henrico County Public Schools. Holly?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Holly Coy, and I serve as Chief of Staff for Henrico County Public Schools, and I am thrilled to be here as we announce this historic pay increase for our teachers, for our police officers, for the hardworking employees of Henrico County. I also am honored to provide a quick snapshot of the school division's budget and how it supports the phenomenal teaching and learning taking place in Henrico County Public Schools. The work of our teachers, administrators, and support staff is guided by our division's strategic plan, Destination 2025, which reflects our shared community aspirations and expectations for high-quality public education. The school board and division leaders also use this framework to align budget priorities to the plan. This year, the team took a conservatively fiscal approach to the budget while also providing innovative instructional programs, real-world experiences for students, and wraparound services for the whole child. As you would expect, more than 75% of school division funds go to instruction. That number is even higher if you include technology as an essential part of instruction, which we know that it is. The school board's approved budget this year includes a significant investment in instructional resources for our students, expanded programming in our ACE centers, ongoing implementation of the division's literacy initiative, and growth of the Achievable Dreams Certified Academy to include 8th grade students. It also adds English as second language teachers and converts some of our exceptional education instructional assistant positions into full-time roles to help meet the needs of these growing populations of students. And of course, there is this amazing and sizable investment in our Henrico County Public Schools employees. Henrico Schools remains one of the area's pay leaders, offering highly competitive salaries and benefits. And it is not an exaggeration to say that the proposed historic 8.2% raise and increase in the minimum wage to $15 an hour will be life-changing for many of our employees, especially our support staff. Without a doubt, this investment will also help entice new teachers, bus drivers, and staff from near and far to join our HCPS family. We know that our current employees are the best ambassadors for our schools. So the division is also offering referral bonuses to current staff who play a role in that recruitment of new employees. I'll also note that in the school board budget, the division absorbs most of the increase to healthcare plans to ensure that that employee raise is not eaten up by other out-of-pocket costs. So I'll conclude by echoing what others have said here today. This budget is about our people. It's about the students of Henrico and the amazing teachers, principals, instructional assistants, bus drivers, administrators, and support staff who serve our students each and every day. So on behalf of the school board and Dr. Cashwell, I want to express our appreciation to school division staff, as well as County Manager Vithoulkas and his staff for all their assistance in developing this plan. Together, we'll continue to invest in the people and programs that foster innovation and support life-ready learners, workers, and citizens. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Brandon, Dan, and Holly for the lead-in, and the finance and budget staff for your hard work in putting this budget together. Thank you also to Chairman Thornton, Vice Chairman Nelson, and Mr. Schmidt, and Mr. Manager for your leadership and vision. Without it, all of this would not be possible. The Public Utilities Fiscal Year 2024 budget is future-leaning with the intent of designing, constructing, and maintaining sustainable and resilient water, sewer, and solid waste infrastructure for today, tomorrow, and generations to come. I am pleased and excited to highlight several programs that are part of our ongoing mission to support our community and to provide essential utility services. 2 weeks ago, at the Board of Supervisors work session, a proposal was presented to drive hotel development and redevelopment of hotel sites to assist with economic development and tourism. This program will use county-banked utility credits from previous county-supported utility expansion projects to offset connection fees with the goal of expanding our local hotel room capacity to over 10,000 rooms. In addition, the county is providing $5 million to public utilities to help make possible more shovel-ready sites for economic development projects and to offset connection fees for water and sewer infill expansion projects. All of this will go even further to our goal of ensuring access and availability of clean drinking water and effective disposal of wastewater to all residents of the county. We are not only expanding our water, sewer, and solid waste infrastructure across the county, we are proactively renewing our existing infrastructure and facilities to make them more reliable, resilient, and sustainable. This budget includes over $100 million in renewal and improvement projects across the county and funding to support redevelopment efforts. This budget also includes funding to continue the county's well testing initiative to assist residents. Furthermore, the renewal and expansion of the county's utility infrastructure ties directly to the county's leadership in environmental stewardship. Work continues and will soon be complete on the Cobbs Creek Reservoir Project, which is our regional initiative to ensure that water needs are met for at least the next 50 years. That also the aquatic habitat is protected during drought conditions and that the James River remains a sustainable waterway. I echo the previous sentiments. This is all possible through the boundless efforts of everyone here today, those out there continuing to provide services to our community, those great friendships, partnerships, and collaborations, and the endless support of the Board of Supervisors and the County Manager. I will now turn this over to Terrell Hughes, the Director of Public Works. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Bentley. Good morning, everybody. So I'm excited for the opportunity to share a few items or highlight a few items in the County Manager's proposed budget. Thank you, County Manager Vithoulkas, Board of Supervisors, for your outstanding leadership. I also want to acknowledge, I see a lot of blue hats in here, so I want to acknowledge the public works staff that showed up. So I'll also shout out public utility staff, so we work together a lot. This budget really reflects the county's leadership in environmental stewardship, as well as the commitment to improving the lives of our residents through road and pedestrian improvements. It includes $6.6 million to continue support for reducing stormwater pollution and flood mitigation efforts. And since fiscal year 2016, the county has invested $18.8 million towards the Chesapeake Bay water quality improvements. And that investment continues with an additional $2.3 million dedicated in this budget, as well as an additional $1 million, which will be allocated towards the maintenance of existing stormwater management facilities around the county. In November, our residents overwhelmingly voted yes to authorize $50 million in general obligation bonds for flood prevention and stormwater drainage facility projects. This proposed budget includes $2.5 million for the first appropriation of these funds to kick off design work. And this expands on our investment of previous years of $1.75 million for drainage improvements, and that carries forward. And I don't want to forget to mention that these very significant investments in water quality and drainage are being made without an additional stormwater tax or utility fee on our residents, which is commonly done. Switching gears to roads and sidewalk, this proposed budget continues our strong commitment to maintaining and improving roads and sidewalk in the county. In addition to the $50 million in street maintenance funds from the state, this budget also includes $30 million for road and safety improvements. We hear our residents loud and clear. In addition to wanting first-class roads to drive on, they also want facilities to bike and walk on, and that's what's included in this budget is funding to advance projects for that. So now I want to hand this off to the county manager. Give it up for the county manager, guys.
Can I ask members of the Board of Supervisors as well as the school board to come forward, please? So there's a reason that we chose this location to do this morning. And it ultimately is, Brandon mentioned that without the employees, nothing is possible. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know, as employees of the county and the school system, nothing is possible for Dr. Cashwell or myself without these elected officials, the Board of Supervisors and the school board, working hand in hand to make things possible for you, the employees. There are localities all throughout the Commonwealth, all throughout the nation, all they do is get up every day and fight. That is not who this county is. I want to give kudos to Dr. Cashwell as a partner. 57 cents out of every budget is dedicated to our school system. This county manager could not ask for a better partner working hand in hand to solve issues that our students and our communities have. So I want to turn the podium over to you, Dr. Cashwell, and as I do, once again express my deep, deep thanks for everything that you do for our county. Dr. Cashwell.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Our employees are the heart of Henrico, and I'm so pleased to be in a community, in a county where our public schools are valued, where our school board, our board of supervisors, and our incredible county manager work together to prioritize quality public education. As he stated, that is not the case in every locality. And so certainly, investing in our employees so that we're rewarding the incredible individuals who are serving our children each and every day, and recruiting the very best, most talented to our county in service of our children has been a priority for everyone you see standing here. And so again, incredibly proud to be a part of Henrico County and the work we continue to do in service of our students. Thank you.
So some of you that know me, I'm not the most technologically advanced person in the world, but we are going to try to do a selfie from up here. So I'm going to ask the board members to come forward. Can you all, and Dr. Cashwell, if you would, let's see if we can do this. So, let's see. Does that work?
Yeah, it
All right,
does.
do we have everyone? All right, ready?
Yay.
We love you, Henrico. Thank you. Pizza's on. And so, as we close, I'm going to ask Ronald Jackson. Ronnie Jackson, are you here? I know you're here. You can't hide from me. So we had an employee service recognition the other week where 50 years of service was recognized. Ronnie, I've got your plaque, and the Board of Supervisors want to give it to you. We also have Charles Robinson, 50 years of service. If you wonder why we succeed, ladies and gentlemen, it's about service. You guys come on up.